What's good? This is Trey. Welcome to this presentation. Today, I want to talk about social freedom and how you can achieve social freedom without using drugs or alcohol. All right. Now, when I say social freedom, essentially what I mean is getting to this state where you're able to express yourself freely without being stuck in your head. Stuck in your head. Oh, what do I say? Oh, what do I do? Oh, I hope this person likes me, this and that, where you're just stuck in your head, you're hesitating, you know, that kind of thing. How can you just be free and just express yourself freely and just not give a fuck, essentially? So, um, basically, I want to talk about night game. So, night game, when you go to the club, right? You go to the club and you go into the nightlife. What you'll find is a lot of people um, are either drunk or high, or sometimes a combination of the two. And the reason for that is because the whole point of the nightlife, the whole point of night game, is to just go out and socialize. It's to go out and have a great time. It's to go out and have fun. And so people will leverage drugs and alcohol because these substances allow them to become socially free like that. They don't have to earn their social freedom. They just drink, drink some alcohol or, smoke some whatever, and they can just get in this socially free state and they're able to just have a great time. Now, what I found is, because I used to do night game a lot, I used to hit the clubs very consistently. And I used to experiment. Sometimes I would go out and I would actually drink. I drink alcohol, and sometimes I wouldn't. Sometimes I would just go out sober. Now, out of all the times that I went to the club and went out, the best time I ever had was when I was sober. Okay, and I was able to achieve social freedom on various nights. But that specific night I'm talking about, I was able to achieve a very high state of social freedom, but without the alcohol. So what it did was I had that social freedom, but I was also conscious enough to calibrate my communication and be aware of my surroundings and not overdo things. Because when you're under the influence, you'll sometimes do things and think that you look cool or think that what you're doing is acceptable, but actually in reality it's over the top or it's too much or whatever. So how did I achieve this social freedom? The best night of my life when I hit the club, I was completely sober and I was able to achieve a very high state of social freedom. I had an amazing night. I met some great women. I remember I made out with a couple girls. Like, I danced with some girls. I was, making people's night. It was an amazing night. And essentially, I want to talk about how I got to that state. So basically what happened is I went out that night and I actually had this mindset that instead of me going out, because a lot of times when guys go out, they have this goal of, oh, I need to get women. I need to pick up women. I need to get laid or whatever it is, right? Instead of that, I focused on how can I just go out and just go up to anyone, approach anyone, talk to anyone, vibe with anyone, and basically face the possibility of rejection. Like, face it head on and accept it as part of the game, right? So the reason why people, would drink alcohol and these things is because if they do get rejected, they don't want to feel it, right? Because rejection doesn't feel good. Judgment doesn't feel good. All these different things. It doesn't feel good. It makes you uncomfortable. And so people don't want to experience that. That's why they drink. That's why they smoke. But what I did was I decided I was going to just face rejection head on, or face the possibility of rejection. So I went to the club and I would just go up and say what up to everyone. Like, I'd be like, hey, what's up, man? Or I saw some girls, hey, I'd start dancing with them. I would just vibe with different people, and some people would kind of be with it. They'd be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And some people would be like, who are you? Get away from me, But when that rejection came up, I would just absorb that feeling and just embrace it and just appreciate it. I know it sounds kind of weird, but if you can learn to appreciate rejection, meaning just appreciate the fact that you're out experiencing life, and you can get rejected. Like, there's some people who, there's stuck in bed. They can't even go out, or they're missing limbs, or and they would love to be able to go out, and even if it was just to get a rejection, they would just love to be able to go out, And so this is a perspective shift. But the point is, you go out with the intention that you're just gonna have a good time. You're just gonna put out good energy, and you're gonna accept the fact that you may get rejected, you may get judged, you may get embarrassed, but that does not define you. You can continue, you can move forward until you find the right people who want to vibe. And so essentially, what happened is I went out, I did my thing, I was approaching people, I was talking to people, and I would get rejected. But what would happen is, after like maybe, I would say, I'm gonna put a number on it. After three rejections, you really start to get in this socially free state where you just don't care anymore. Because it's like, once you feel the sting of rejection the first time, it doesn't feel good. And so you're like, I don't want to do it. But then if you do it a second time, it doesn't feel good, but this time it's a little bit less. And then the third time, you do it again, you get rejected again. And this time you're like, damn, this ain't shit. And so now you've achieved this state of mind where you've already gotten rejected 3 times. So now you just don't give a fuck. Now you're just like, man, I've already gotten rejected 3 times. Who gives a shit? Let me just enjoy myself, right? But the only way to get to that state is to go through those rejections, right? And that's what I found, because I went out for, consistently for quite some time, and I saw that this was very important. It's like, you have to experience these rejections to basically program your mind to see, oh, this is not a big deal. It's not that bad. It's all in your mind. Your mind is like, yeah, you're getting rejected. Oh my goodness, right? Don't do it. Don't approach her. You might get rejected. But then when you actually do it, you see that it ain't shit, man. It's whatever. Life goes on. It's no big deal. We as men should be able to take a no. If somebody says no, I should be able to take that no and continue my day. My whole day shouldn't be ruined because a girl said no or she wasn't interested. I should be able to continue and enjoy myself. And you feel strong, you feel masculine when you get that rejection, but you're still able to hold your frame and continue and continue what you were doing. You feel strong. You become more grounded, you become more confident, because you prove to yourself that you're unstoppable. A little rejection is not going to stop you from having a good time. And so you find yourself in this socially free state. And what's interesting is, if you continue on and you keep putting out good vibes and talking to other people, sometimes those people that rejected you in the beginning, they'll come back and want to vibe with you, because they see, oh, this is just a cool guy who doesn't give a fuck. He wasn't trying to get something from us. Because sometimes girls will reject you, or people will reject you because they think you're trying to intrude or get something from them. But once they see that that's not the case, you just want to share good vibes and have a good time, sometimes they'll come back and want to vibe with you. And that's what I've experienced with girls. It's like, sometimes a girl will reject me in the beginning of the night, but later on I approach her later and she's all over. It's good vibes. And it's just because when I approached her initially, she had the idea that I was like, one of those guys trying to just, basically hit on her right away or whatever. And it's like, that wasn't it. I'm just spreading good vibes with everyone. But that's me. I have to have enough strength or self-worth and self-esteem to not take that rejection personally, or else, that can just ruin your whole night and you're not going to want to talk to anyone. You just have to accept it as part of the game. Like, I really have completely accepted rejection as part of the game, meaning no matter how good looking you are, no matter how great you are, no matter how amazing you are, you're still going to get rejected. The most beautiful girl in the world has been rejected. The guy with the most amazing physique and all this shit, he's been rejected. Everyone has been rejected, and everyone will continue to be rejected, because we're not supposed to connect with every single person at every single moment, right? People are on different wavelengths, right? People are on different vibrations at different times. People are having different situations, different things are going on. Sometimes a girl might go to the club and you look like her ex-boyfriend that just, fucked her over or whatever, right? And so now you approach her and she's like, get away from me, because you remind her of, you don't know what's going on, and that's why you don't want to take it personally. But what I found, just to make sure we stay on topic of this social freedom, is when you can put yourself out there and face rejection head on, and I'm putting a number on, I'm saying if you could do it 3 times. So literally, if I want to get in a socially free state, I'll go out and I'll actually set a goal to get rejected 3 times. You know, like if I feel myself, I'm like hesitating and I'm kind of like stuck in my head. I'm like, oh, fuck, man, I'm stuck in my head. Maybe I was doing business all day. I was on my laptop all day. So I'm in that logical, analytical state and I'm like analyzing everything. Oh, should I approach her? Should I not? You know? So to get out of that state, I have to just put myself out there and just get rejected, you know? Put myself in an awkward situation, put myself in some tension and experience it and remind myself that I can handle it, right? Because we can handle rejection. It's just all in our head. It makes us think, oh, it's so bad and we're gonna die and life is gonna be over. It's not that bad, man. It's just a no. It's just the same thing like when you were a kid, you asked your mom for a cookie and she said no. It wasn't the end of the world. She just said no because at that point in time, it's a no. Doesn't mean later. It doesn't mean that later she won't say yes. Yeah, mom give you the cookie later, right? And that's the same thing I see with women. It's like a woman might say no right now, but later she might say yes. So I can't take it personal. I can't be discouraged. And I just take that energy, that energy of rejection. I accept it. I embrace it. I feel how it feels. I'm like, oh shit, I can't handle this. And now I'm more free, right? And so you don't really need, like sometimes I'll go out and as I said, the best night I've ever had doing night game was when I was sober. Even though when you have alcohol and stuff, it's cool because it gets you a buzz and you can be socially free without having to do those get rejected. But you don't want to use that as a what you call it, like something a crutch. You don't want to use alcohol or drugs as a crutch. Like I have nothing against alcohol. Like if you want to drink it here and there, that's cool. But you don't want to be that guy that needs alcohol or needs drugs or needs something to get you socially free. You want to have that power within yourself to get yourself to that state. And I'm giving you a quick way to do it. Just go out there, get rejected 3 times. Get rejected 3 times so you could just release that tension and just experience that rejection and realize that it's not that big of a deal. It's not that serious. It's not that bad. You can handle it, right? And then you will achieve that social free state where you can just approach anyone you want. You're just not going to care because you've already got rejected 3 times and you've basically desensitized yourself. Like the first one usually sucks. I'm not going to lie. The first rejection, it stings and you're like, ah, fuck. But then the second one, it's like, that wasn't too bad. And then the third one is when you come to this realization, it's not that serious. And now you're free. Now you can just approach anyone and you can go move quickly and, not give a fuck. So that's my advice on how you can achieve social freedom without using alcohol or drugs. All right. If you're a man watching this and you want to get more advice on how you can develop unbreakable self-confidence, on how you can eliminate the fear of rejection, the fear of approaching women, and become the most attractive version of yourself, join the Unbreakable Beast Tribe. I'll drop a link to the group in the comment section, and I'll see you inside. Peace.